found it to be incredibly helpful to me as a priest. Why? Because until I lived in the monastery, I didn't understand the degree to which in the world we can avoid people and situations we don't like. When somebody bothers us, we can figure out how to make our daily routine avoid that person. When there's something we don't like to do, we can switch our job. We can do something else. But in the monastery, for those 2 years, mostly for those 2 years when I lived in the seminary building and had a obedience at the monastery and went to all my classes there. Jordanville, for those of you who don't know, is in rural upstate New York. It's a very small place. There's about 80, 100 people, depending on who's there at that point, that are living there. And it's those same people. And in the summer, there's lots of guests, but once the snow starts, which it's already probably got to put there right now, once the snow starts, there aren't that many guests. Maybe on Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday, but beyond that, Monday through Friday, it's the same people, the same kasha, the same cereal for breakfast. It's the same everything. And like always, there are things that annoy you, things that get you upset, and people that bother you. And after your first reaction is you just, how can they be da-da-da-da-da-da? But then, and this is thanks to spiritual fathers who you go to confession and say, and they say, well, did you think about why that's bothering you? Like, look at yourself. Once you realize that it's really about your own attitude, it's not that you're not going to change them. You have to change how you relate to them, how you interact with them. And it was only in a monastery that you could absolutely have that circumstance where there is no escape. In our daily lives, you can escape the things you don't like, even about yourself, by avoiding those things. There's a train going by. In our daily lives, we can do that. But at the monastery, you can't. And for me, Jordanville was a wonderful education, and I learned a lot in the classes, and it was great to learn and live with all the monks. But for me, that experience in and of itself was the reason to go to seminary. So if anybody here is considering the clergy and being a clergyman and has the opportunity, I highly encourage you to try and live in a seminary, monastery environment. I think St. Tikhon's has